What is going on? My name is Flip, and man, oh man, we are live and we are back with chapter 1188 of One Piece. Now, I am very excited for this one. I need to actually check if I'm live. It would seem that I'm live. I am live. Okay. Did I do the thing again? Okay. It seems we're good. Okay. Anyways, last time, a couple of things happened. We had we ended the chapter with Emu versus Luffy happening. And also we got Sanji having his whole like realization moment where he's awakening through his conqueror's wants. Um and I would like to like quickly get through the chapter because we do see a lot of omen use, and the reason why I'm talking about that specifically. Also, Gunko got unfrozen. That's the thing I forgot was happening. And Loki seems to be out for the count, and Ragnar is like still there, but I don't know what's going on with them. Now, the reason I mentioned all of the also Sora's about to fight. Is already fighting. Uh, Summers and Sanji's fighting. Uh, Yo, Deadman! Salutations! Salutations, my man! We're just quickly recapping the last chapter because we're getting Sanji versus Killingham and Summers versus Zoro. That's pretty interesting. And I wanted to mention one thing because I had an idea well after stream. I was over in Kyushu's stream, we're talking, and I got this idea that Sanji and we were saying last time, I don't think Sanji's gonna get any Conqueror's Haki. Like, I apologize to anyone that wants it to happen. I personally just don't think it's gonna happen. Now, we both know that Sanji needs to meet up to the standards of Zoro, who does have Conqueror's Haki. And we know from what Killingham's saying, the only way to kill someone with the Omen regeneration is to have Conqueror's Haki. But that might not be the only way. Now, Sanji, as we see with the clear fruit, we see with the rain, the Germa suit, the Germa 66 suit, like anytime, hell, he didn't get any training for the Rokushiki abilities. He did Skywalk instead of Moonwalk, that kind of thing. Sanji has consistently wanted to get a specific ability, not actually gotten it, and instead made his own. And so he even like his powers of like fire and stuff. So people were saying, "Oh, we would like it to do Conqueror's Haki, Black Flames," and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It would be cool, but it doesn't make any sense. That's not something that Conqueror's Haki can do. But what can do it? Omen. Now, we don't know the nature of Omen. It might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. We've only seen it on someone that's evil, naturally being Emu, but that doesn't mean that, for one, it is exclusive to Emu, and two, that it's exclusive to bad people. It just sounds demonic, but it might just be that, Sanji can tap into it and then forms his Black Flames, and that rivals Omen regeneration because it is Omen, and if you have control over Omen, naturally you can undo it. Anyways, that's just my thoughts. Let's head right into chapter 1188 because we have missed 4 minutes of this while ranting. And so we get a beautiful color spread of the Straw Hats just kind of underwater, just swimming, and we get all. I wanted to say all four of the devil producers inside a bubble behind the turtle, but it's not true. I don't know where Robin is, but it seems to just be my boy Chopper, Brook, Luffy, and a sleeping Zoro, but I don't know where. Oh, Robin is over with Frankie, who is in another bubble. Okay, that's very cute. This is very cute. Usopp seems to be drowning. Nami is just hugging a king turtle, and Sanji is trying to rush over because he wants to be hugged. And naturally, Jinbei doesn't need any type of like respiration stuff. So that's very cool. I apologize if we take a little. For one, I've been doing a lot of streams, so I feel like I'm just taking my time with stuff. I'm trying to rush, and also, I don't know. I'm having fun. Uh, so I apologize if it takes too long, but also I don't give a shit. Dead Man Goes. Sanji kind of looks like he's reaching for the crown. Maybe some sort of foreshadowing for his conquerors. Who knows? Maybe. But I really hope. I mean, I think we talked about this last time. I feel like Oda is handing out conquerors like it's fucking bubblegum. Like, and I talked about this with my brother. My brother was like, dude, no, you are fully mistaken. Because this is late game One Piece. Like, naturally, all the strongest contenders should have conquerors. And I'm like, but that's not inherently true. Mihawk doesn't have any, and he is the strongest in a Yonko crew. Not the strongest commander, the strongest in a Yonko crew. Okay? And he doesn't have conquerors. In fact, he's the strongest swordsman in the world. Stronger than current Zoro, and he doesn't have conquerors. Ben Beckman, which I really do think has conquerors, based on all the, like, not canon stuff. I think he does have conquerors, but in the anime, it doesn't seem to have shown it. Lucky Rube, Yasop, none of them have conquerors, and yet they can go toe to toe with like people like King and stuff. So you don't necessarily need to have it. I'm pretty sure that they can also take out killing them, and they don't have conquerors. But I don't know. There's gotta be some sort of other workaround. It can't just be this thing where like, oh, you need conquerors in order to. No, I think that's just what we are learning right now. Anyways, heading into the chapter. Hello, come in. So this is with like thought bubbles, even not transponder snails. Transponder snail ones. So this might just we see a shade as this is happening. So this might be in a dark room. We're hearing this from far away. Then we get zzz, zzz, zzz. Hello, transponder snail speech bubbles. What? Huh? Who are you? Mu. I am Imu. Who art thou? Oh, me. Whoa. So, okay, chapter 1188, titled Yohu, or Vohu. This is really interesting. Might this be the name Vohu might be another god? What do you think are going to happen in this chapter? The fact that you're asking me that question. Okay. I don't know. I mean, because this seems to be a conversation between Imu and someone else. It could be that it's Imu and Mu. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like during this chapter we're gonna mostly see Imu interacting with Luffy, which is gonna be really interesting because in the scan the title is Wailing Void. Okay. Interesting name. And over here's Vohu. Which I'm thinking could be one of the gods. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of what this chapter is gonna be is the fight, Luffy being pissed, saying stuff, but Imu is gonna be way too focused on seeing the past through the screen of what is the present, if that makes any sense. Anyways, heading back in. Hello. Hello. What? Huh? Who are you? Mu? I am Imu. Who art thou? Oh, me? Oh, I'm Joy Boy. Huh. So that seems to have been in the past. So we cut back to the present. Indeed, Joy Boy is long dead. So why dost thou remind Mu of that time? Okay. Maybe because he has the same form and powers, and also Nika. And so Imu goes like this and covers like a snail, like a coil of omen around his arm, and Luffy, pissed, goes, "How should I know?" And so Imu seems to be going for a head punch, but Luffy moves his head downwards, like fully downwards, while still not moving his body. So zoop, huh? He dodged. So the Mu flames are talking. The Omen flames are talking below us, and so the punch curves and kind of like Nika like as well. Down, down, down. And Luffy goes, hmm? Oh, oh, and so the arm that was going this direction sort of like bent out of shape and kind of like goes downwards and still hits Luffy. Boom! Explosion wherever Luffy landed. Luffy's head is buried in the ground. He is kicking his legs up in the air, trying to get out of the ground. And so does his head seems to be covered in like charcoal. Who knows what even happened to make Joy Boy call Imu? For all we know, he might be in a spaceship or using a modern phone to talk to him. I mean, it doesn't feel like he knows who he was calling, right? Who are you? I am Mu. Who art thou? Oh, me? I am Joy Boy. So it seems that whatever this call is was completely not intentional. Okay, so poof, Luffy, pissed, goes in for a swing, misses, but right behind him is Imu. Imu goes with this Vajab, tries to pierce. Luffy does the same thing, moves all out of the way. Gum Gum barrage. Luffy goes, I was able to hit you before. So Imu goes, this is a lot of action chapter. I wonder how many pages this is. 20 pages only? And we're 9 already in? This is gonna be a quick chapter. I don't know if I like that. Okay. So Imu does that. Boom! Explosion towards where Luffy is. I mean, this is gonna be crazy when it's animated. So Luffy starts cartoonishly running in. Okay, close one. And so Imu keeps shooting out those things again. We see the little omen balls with faces, and they seem to be chasing Luffy no matter where they go. And Luffy goes back, eyes pop out, and goes, "Whoa! They're chasing me. Are those supposed to be bombs?" I mean, if this was Usopp would know how to deal with this. I mean, he dealt with Corona. And so he turns around while still running, goes Gum Gum, Jet Gatling. And so he punches the little omen balls out of the air. Boom. And so the omen balls start crying. So Imu goes, huh? As he hears Luffy go, Gum Gum. Genie. Excuse me? Ho ho ho! What is that? He grows a beard. His ears change. His eyebrows change. His whole facial structure changes. His nose becomes way different. Gum Gum Genie. So, and his lower half is clouds. So it seems that for the first time, Luffy is using the capabilities of the Nika Nika fruit. Because for forever, I mean, I think a long time ago. Also, there's a like the genie mane that comes out like from a bun that usually get, and he gets the cufflinks, and he goes like this. Dude, I think this is the first time that Luffy is fully using his capabilities to like where usually he only uses Gum Gum related abilities, but we learned a long time ago that the Nika Nika fruit is only bound by the imagination of the user. It's like some sort of omega. Yeah, true with the whole call thing. But Jesus Christ, I think Luffy, without knowing it, is actively transforming and using the. And I wonder like how much more we can get, because this is the first. By the way, this is the first Gear 5 transformation that we've gotten in the same capacity of a tank man or a snake man. And I think this is a very big deal. Like, it might not say Gear 5, Genie Man, or whatever. This is Gum Gum Genie, but like, okay. So Luffy, well, in Genie mode, goes, oh yeah, I saw your fight with Loki, and I won't let his death be in vain. Okay, I don't think Loki's dead. He's just out for the count this time. But Jesus, also he seems to be wearing the straw. Oh wait, he's not wearing the straw hat. I thought that was the straw hat. No, it's not the straw hat. He has earrings and he has a whole like I don't know the name of that turban. He has a full-on turban. Okay, and so Loki yells, "I'm still alive, you moron!" Oh hey, Loki, you're alive! Shanks on his way to Elbaf to ask Genie Luffy to get his arms back, and more hacky notes. This is the meme in Reddit. Are making a meme about it right now. I see. I wonder what the full capabilities of Gum Gum Genie are, because this is really different. Oh hey Loki, you're alive! And so Emu is just looking at this, and he is like, what did I get into? What is this? And so Emu goes again with the same move, trying to do the thing. And while that's going on, uh, Ratatasker, Ratatasker is like trying to do CPR, and Loki is like, "Oh crap, damn it! Oh, he's not trying to do CPR. He's running." Thought he was going like, no, he is just running towards. Oh damn it, move Ragnar! And so there seems to be some. Oh, one of the attacks of Emus was coming in his direction, and Ragnar was kind of like doing this, just with his eyes closed, trying to a very brave, very brave ice squirrel. He was gonna take the attack, which wouldn't have done anything. It would have just gotten him, you know, attacked. But Jinbei comes in and goes, Arabasta Brick Fisto. Yo, Wheatley! Welcome, welcome, welcome! Holy, I didn't think I would see you for one of the One Piece streams. I don't know if you're interested in One Piece. Could you sum up what I missed? Okay, so we're reading One Piece chapter 1188. I don't know if you're interested. I don't know if you've watched anything. But I hope maybe it doesn't get you spoiled. I don't know if you've gotten into One Piece. I can't fully sum up everything One Piece, but if I'm gonna sum up the chapter real quick, Luffy is fighting Emu. Emu seems to have unveiled some new abilities that we didn't have before. Emu had a call with Joy Boy like 800 years ago, I assume, where they potentially met for the first time, and Luffy seems to not be doing so good, and is now changed into a new form called Gum Gum Genie, which he seems to be fully utilizing the imagination capabilities of the Nika Nika fruit for the first time ever. But yeah, that's just what you've missed in terms of the chapter. We're just reading through the chapter. We're just having some ideas. We're seeing what's going on. But thanks for coming through the stream. I don't know if you know anything One Piece, but we're here. So, and I won't be changing it for anything else because this is what the chapter, this stream is all about. Okay, so Jinbei blocks the attack from Emu that's heading the collateral attack that's heading towards a very injured Loki, and Arabasta Fisk, boom, blocks it. Okay, so Genie Luffy goes, Jinbei, Luffy, do you want me to make sure he's protected? Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Jinbei. He's my pal. And so Ragnar is very happy about this. And Loki goes, I ain't nobody's pal, you stupid beef squeak. Which, by the way, this is one of the reasons Luffy invited, like way earlier in the arc, he invited Loki to join the crew. I think Loki didn't specifically say no, but I'm thinking he's not going to join. Like, this is one of those times that I think he's not going to join. Alright, I can do that. You focus on the fight. Okay, so he goes like this. And Luffy's going like, ho, ho, and he is not focused on the fight whatsoever. Imu is just in the background like, what the hell's going on? Nami and Nami goes, wait, that's Luffy? He's fighting that guy from before. And Usopp says, is he gonna be alright? Who is that guy anyways? So Usopp, who was punched like very, very deep in by this guy, doesn't know who he is, which makes sense because the one that technically attacked him was Gonko, but at the same time, it was Imu. It was Imu controlling Gonko. Like, that's just what's going on. Okay, Brook then says, the only people higher than the Knights of God are supposed to be the five elders, as far as I know. So maybe he's the Knights commander? I bet that's what that is. So that's what Usopp responds. And Brook responds, there is no group more shrouded in mystery than the world government. I mean, the ancient kingdom, but sure. Okay. And so Frankie goes, hey, Brook, she's almost out. Ah, Princess Shuri! And so the Gonko ice block is still melting. What is our next step? What does one do with a frozen person? Okay, and there seems to be some... Oh, it's just Loki. I was like, there seems to be like Yamato or something? No, that's not Yamato. It's Loki. Just on the ground with Red Task on top of him. He goes, well, let's see when Robin and Luffy got frozen. Well, let's see. When Robin and Luffy got frozen... Whoa! This is in... Whoa! That is a deep cut! That is a reference to Long Ring Long Land. When they fought Aokiji. They've been frozen before? Yeah, because this is prior to Brook joining the crew. And I think prior to Frankie? I might be mistaken. I don't remember if this is prior to Frankie or after Frankie. I think it might have been prior to Frankie. Joining the crew. So neither of them seem... I mean, I think it's... Taking into account the conversation, I would assume this was after Water 7. But I don't remember. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways. And Imu goes, Gonko, could thou not break that ice? Gum Gum. A man with an afro calling Gonko Princess Shuri. Could it be? Oh, so he knows him. Imu knows him. Yeah, it was Frankie. This was pre-Water 7 arc. I see. By the way, I think the power just like went up for like half a second. So if the stream dies down, it's because of that. Just letting you know. Because I think I saw like the lights go like... So I don't know. I might be mistaken. I might have just blinked. Okay, so Luffy clashes with Imu using Conqueror's Haki. Dude, this panel of Genie Luffy is so weird. Caught you slipping bullet. Were thou not watching earlier? And so while... Oh, caught you slipping bullet. So this is what Luffy is telling Imu, and then Imu goes with the omen like this. Were thou not watching earlier? Shing. Oh, and then the beard of Luffy's catches on like black fire. Ah. Watching what happened to Loki despite his size. Stigma. And so as he does Stigma, which was a big thing with the size, I see why Luffy did this now. Luffy immediately transforms and goes out of the way. So it wasn't about the size, it was about making himself look big. Yeah, that happened to me too. What happened to you too? Oh, the power? Could be. Okay, so Imu now changes his stance to go like this, but exclusively. No this. And so just fire is coming out. Just fire spirits are coming out. And Luffy just stomps on them. Like he's putting out a normal fire. And so the fire are still like trajectorially, I don't know, zoom, zoom, zoom. So they're going out. Luffy's running. The things are running after him. Imu drops down and starts walking normally. And so he, with just his fingers, spins the Sverjard, grabs from his ring of omen, grabs fire, coats his blade, his massive blade, in fire. I would grab my sword, but I don't wanna stop. And so the blade goes fully black with like black flames coming out of it. And we see a tree, and immediately as he goes, blade of nothingness. Vohu. A tree fully dries out. Okay, so Deadman is saying lights that turn off and on in less than a second, also known as a micro outage or rapid flicker, are technically caused by loose wire connections, failing light switches, or voltage drops when a large appliance turns on. These disruptions cause a temporary break in your electrical circuit. I mean, it didn't interrupt the stream, which is good. Okay. And so just by putting his sword forwards, every single tree in front is basically dried out and moved out of the way. Holy hell. So black flames follow the ground. Luffy is running in the air being chased. Huh? The forest dried out. So Imu looks upwards and goes, the view is clearer now. This is another thing that I'm wondering, because it might just happen this chapter, that maybe Imu's I wouldn't say that his time runs out, but I feel we should see some repercussions out of the fact that his time is running out. And we might just see it either in the next chapter or in the chapter after that, where he fully runs out of time and he is forced to leave. This reminds me of when Zoro, when he used his new sword in Wano, it almost drained his arm. Yeah, but it's the opposite. Okay. The view is clearer now. And Luffy from up there goes, same from up here. And so Imu jumps up. Of course I know that thou art not Joy Boy. So it seems that the conversation from the beginning of the chapter is actually happening here, which, by the way, this is the last page. And Luffy goes, huh? Very shocked. And Imu looks directly at Luffy. Luffy cups up blood. And go. Says go as the little bullets still go towards Luffy. Luffy goes, ah! Oh! Luffy is fully impaled in the entire torso. Like there, and not even like just the torso, but like this part of the torso, where the heart would be. And Imu goes, Joy Boy was not this weak. Doom, doom. To be continued. Chapter 1188. End. Now, I was saying this last chapter. I said this last chapter. I truly thought and wanted Luffy and the Straw Hats to lose here. I think that this is an arc that needs to end in a loss. Like, legitimately, I really think this is an arc that needs to end in a loss. I feel like stories, specifically shonen, don't have enough losses. It's always like it goes like this. Then by this point, it's like water's like impel down, suddenly dips, massive rise, and from there it's just going up. It should suddenly go all the way down and then go back up again, and then back down and then back up again. Yeah, I want them to lose too, because legitimately, for one, Imu is supposed to be one of, if not the, I'm gonna say second strongest person in the world. Because I think Shanks is probably stronger. Imu is stronger than Luffy. Current Luffy is not stronger than Kaido. Like, if Luffy and Kaido were to fight one-on-one, full health, full stamina, Luffy loses. And if he can't beat Kaido 2 full arcs later, there's no way that he is beating Imu. Now, I personally was thinking this fight was gonna last 3 chapters. And then time was gonna run out as he's about to strike down Luffy. This is what I was saying, this is what I was thinking. But this time I was wrong, and it actually makes a lot more sense that I was wrong. Because instead of 3 chapters of a fight or 2 chapters, we're getting 1 chapter. Defeated in 1 chapter. Not only defeated, brutally defeated, and stricken through in the same way that Ace was, which you're saying Donna D. Luffy. Donna D. Ace, Donna D. Sabo, Donna D. Garp now. Donna D. Luffy. I mean, nothing happened to Sabo. Besides the fact that he died. Like, way like when. But, man. And I hope this is not I really would. Okay, I don't know how to. In Wano, we saw Luffy lose, but he got back up and defeated Kaido in that same arc. I personally really think that this shouldn't be the case. This should be a worse than Sabaody situation. People were wanting, I was wanting, Egghead to be the loss. Okay? Now, granted, I still think the Straw Hats, it wasn't a loss, it was a tie. Right? The world government got most of everything that they wanted, but they didn't get the Straw Hats and they didn't get the full lineup of. But, like, they didn't beat the Gorosei. Right? They didn't beat them. Even with all the help and everything, they didn't beat them. Now, we get an even bigger bad, which is Imu. Someone got stabbed by Imu during the reverie. Oh, true. True. I forgot about that. That is, you're absolutely right. True. But man, he has been fighting above his weight class for a while. The Gorosei was already difficult, and you're going to go against someone that's like probably 10 times, if not more times, stronger. If this was realistic and not just shonen bullshit, Luffy should lose here, and he has. Like, he is out in the same way that Loki is out, and it's now. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't want them to get away with the children. I think Sanji and Zoro should win their respective fights. Again, that is one thing that I think, and then is where the time runs out for Imu. So it wouldn't be an unrecoverable loss, but it's still a loss regardless. I think both Luffy and Loki need to be out for the rest of this. And granted, Luffy was already down, and he got back up because he ate a lot of food. That food is gone. He ate it. And last chapter, I think, he said, I don't see myself losing to anyone, which is crazy that now he's lost. Luffy only lasted 2 chapters against. It wasn't 2 chapters. It was 1 chapter. We got the very last panels of the last chapter. That doesn't count. There was 1 strike, and then the whole, like, that was a poster match. That was a preview in the same way that like Mayweather versus like Mike Tyson would go, where they would have a little bit of a promotional, and then the versus Mayweather versus Mike Tyson, that kind of shit. Okay, that is not this. Like, that is not a fight. That is a preview. That is a poster. That's what we got last chapter. This was a 1 chapter, 18 page chapter, and he lost. He is down, and motherfucker, it better stay that way. Imu, I don't think, is the final villain. I don't want him to be the final villain. But there are still a couple things. For one, I don't think this is Emu's final form. Like, this is not his real form. This is one of the original 18 Kings. It's not Emu. Uh, Two, I think he is the main villain of Elbaf. However, because he is the main villain of Elbaf, he shouldn't be the final villain. Like, I feel as we go arc by arc, whoever the villain of that arc is out for final villain. Emu should be that. Do I think he should be in Final War? Yes. Unless it's a road for the One Piece. Yo, Kello, welcome. We just finished the chapter. If you don't want to be spoiled, as much as I appreciate you being here, and of course I appreciate every single one that is here, we are talking spoilers. Just letting you know. Facts, Loki literally lasted longer. Emu even smiled at him, saying Ragnar is back. But here, Emu basically called Luffy a LARPer. Yeah, I'm not gonna stick around because I'm gonna get spoiled if I do. Yeah, no, I just appreciate you, and I'm really grateful that you even went as far as to say hi here. So thank you so much, Kello, for coming through. This is your time to get out if you don't want to be spoiled, unless you think you might not remember it later. But yeah, we are talking spoilers, and we'll continue to talk spoilers because we are in the discussion part of this stream. Anyways, heading in to the rest of this, we were talking about what were we talking about? Uh, he only lasted a single chapter against him, and I think when it comes to Final War, I was talking about like I think Emu should be in Final War. It would make no sense if he's not. All right, see ya. Yo, Kello, thank you so much. I will see you later, man. Okay, it would make no sense if Emu isn't part of this, a part of Final War. However, I don't think he should take a big part in it. And in fact, it would be even cool, unless, again, unless Final War isn't about the world government against pirates in the same way that Marineford was. If New Marineford is its own thing, and it's not specifically, unless they have the Rotoniglyph, because I was thinking the Final War could just be the race for the final phonoglyph. Regardless, I think that Emu should die, but at the hands of Blackbeard. In the same way that, like, I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, because that's Rox said he would come back. Rox never came back to the throne room, to the Pangea Castle, flower room. But wouldn't it be cool if Blackbeard not only makes it in, but has the picture, he has his picture all cut up. He has the other pictures, he's looking at them as he's sitting in the empty throne. Wouldn't that be fucking awesome? And he says, I told you that the Davy lineage would be back. Or something like that. Oh, you were told that the Davy lineage would come back. Something like that. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then Emu is clapped. Which would put, I've been saying for the longest time that out of the 8 Yonkos that we've gotten, Blackbeard is easily the weakest. Like, I think he's the weakest. But if he claps Emu after having clapped Luffy like this? Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah. And the other thing is, I think this is the second or third arc where the world government themselves are the villain, right, of the arc. Because in Egghead, who would you say was the villain? Saturn. Yeah. And Saturn lost, which is, I think, Blackbeard was struggling against Law. He was. But then, granted, that was happening when? That was probably happening. Oh, no, that's post Wano. Okay. Yeah. Again, the law needed Kid to defeat Big Mom, and they didn't even defeat her. They took her down off Onigashima. Which, by the way, I really think she's not dead. I don't think Kaido is dead. There's a panel I've been wanting to see for a very long time now, which I'm reserving for Final War, and I really hope happens, of the 8 Yonko side by side going up against Imu or Akainu or whoever's there. And I am talking including Whitebeard, because I think we can see Big Mom use the corpse of Whitebeard to bring him back and make him a homie. But you can see the silhouette of all 8 just kind of standing there, trying, like, they were fighting or they were ready to fight, and then they're gonna fight Emu or something. That would be pretty cool. But I think at the end of the day, it should go down to Blackbeard versus Emu and clapped off screen. That would be awesome. But yeah, I really hope Oda doesn't fumble this by making Luffy suddenly like eat a fucking watermelon and then be like, "Oh look, I'm fine now. I can clap your ass." No, no, you fucking can't. There is nothing that you can currently do. Like even if you if you know how to use your Devil Fruit better, if you know how to use your Conqueror's Haki better, which Gabon taught him how to do it, that still wasn't enough. And I think that's not the kind of thing that you figure out now. You figure it out while training after the loss. You figure it out during other fights. You don't figure it out here. I think I was talking to Kyushu, like, hey, Kyushu, we did the whole, yesterday we did the collab, and I was like, okay, we should do one for One Piece. Maybe we like get together at the end of Elbaf and we talk about Elbaf as a whole and what we think is going to happen after. But man, Elbaf might just be over. Which is so weird because we still have the Heaven Layer to see. There's still so much of a Wano to see. Imagine if Blackbeard used Moria to make Whitebeard a zombie and fight for him. Granted, remember that Moria, and I think that's that's a thing people forget. Moria isn't locked up anymore. Break next week? No, of course, it's been 3 chapters. But it's good to know for a fact. But yeah, no, Blackbeard doesn't have Moria anymore. I think it's gonna go down to Buggy and them. And I think he's gonna join Cross Guild. I think a lot of people think that as well. Same for Dofi. But if Whitebeard is coming back as a moving corpse, it would be through Big Mom's homies. I really think so, because that is a whole part of the soul and like the transposition of souls into things that we haven't seen yet. That's one ability, and then the other ability that I've been thinking is Big Mom, like unlocking her fruit's power, like awakening it by taking out all of her life force and then putting it into her own body. Like that is one thing. It's definitely a last hurrah, but making her own body a homie, it should be the awakening. Like it should be fully what awakening would be. I wonder how Luffy gonna escape this because he's deep into that sword. That's true, and that's piercing. Let me see. That is piercing lungs. Hell, that's not even piercing lungs. Luffy shouldn't have lungs. His spine, unless he got over here, like he's at least lost one lung. The heart should be punctured. Okay, that's one thing because the sword is huge, and that is deep in. I don't think his spine will have been severed, so it should be on the side, not over directly in the center. So on the side, he's lost, and it's over here, which means it's not it like in terms of like one thing you gotta understand, and it's something I always notice in TV. When you get hit here in the belly by anything, that's fatal, and you're done. Like you might want to get hit more in the chest where the heart is if you want to be hit anywhere, but here's fatal. Here is fatal. You always want to cover with your arms. I know it's gonna hurt a fucking ton, but if you're gonna get pierced or anything, you want your arms to be the cover. It's just what it is. Because this is endgame. Now, Luffy could survive if it was any, because it is in this section. It is specifically over here. So he can make it. But the problem for me is the size of the sword, and also the fact that he is like currently, that thing could still slice downward, it could slide upward. If it went for the carotid, like if it went upwards, unless it goes like through here, through the clavicle, I mean that's still fatal. But like has higher this is one of the most brutal attacks in One Piece. Like legitimately, it has a chance of not being fatal. Like it makes sense. Oh, and it's going upwards, so it's going through here. It's definitely going through the rib cage, through the downside of the rib cage. So it's going up. It's taking out a full lung. Like the full left lung is gone. That shit is unrecoverable. Like if this were car parts, he would be out. Like he would need replacement. This is not a blood transfusion anymore. He does not have a lung. So no lung, punctured intestine for sure. Punctured heart. Dude, this is not a thing that you just eat your way out of. You know? Kaido couldn't have done this amount of damage. This is crazy. I don't know where this is going, because honestly, medically, and that is hoping that I'm right in terms of like where it is, because I don't see a world where Luffy doesn't walk again. But this easily could have ruptured the spine. Man. Like, this might be a Gon situation. Like, it might just require a wish. Which, by the way, Gum Gum Genie, it might just require a wish for this man to get up. Because this is the kind of injury that will take you months to get out of. I know, right? This is brutal. It kind of reminds me of when Crocomom Mom stabbed Luffy in the first... Yeah, but that is incomparable. Like, that is just like in Dead by Daylight, when you're pierced by a hook here. But this took out this must have taken out a full lung. Like, oh no, it's not, oh, the lung is pierced. No. The size of that sword, 90% of the lung is gone. Like, that shit is deflated, that shit is exploded. He doesn't have a lung. And that's granted if he only touched one lung. It could have also sliced part of the other lung. Like, this is medically, this is crazy. Let me read the comments now. We're getting into the comments part of the stream. The one goes, that sword probably deleted most of his organs. That's what I'm saying. I think that's a punctured heart. That is a deleted, that's an erased lung. Okay, at least one. That is a sliced, possibly a sliced lung. The other one. Possibly, but I highly doubt it because Oda wouldn't do that. Ruptured spine. There is definitely a big slice in the intestines. Maybe, I don't think in the stomach, but it definitely could take over part of the stomach, part of the kidney. The pancreas, I think should be fine. The kidneys should be fine. Man, he's gonna need an organ transplant, like legitimately. The one says, is that a sword I see? Mihawk upscale? No, that is not a sword, it's a svijab. It is a lance. It is not a... Oh, wait, was it a sword? Oh, that is a sword. Where did he even pull that out of? I didn't even notice that. When did he pull out a sword? Oh, oh, I see. So the Svejart he did like this, and then boop, it turned into a like a homie flame, and then it became a sword. I see. I mean, it's technically still not a sword because it's supposed to be the Svejart. Chopper gonna be busy this arc. Imagine if Luffy died or almost death, and Chopper finally awakens fruit to save him. But that's the thing. Chopper's fruit is not a medical fruit. Awakening it won't do anything because yeah, his fruit, his he only has medical knowledge. The only way that I can see his fruit doing anything is if he brings back the scan for weakness, and that would like help identify. But still, even if I can tell you what's wrong with Luffy, the question is what can he do to make sure that Luffy is okay? And well, Chopper, Chopper, I'm sorry, man, but I just don't see how you cure this. Like he needs an organ transplant. That's what he needs. Like legitimately, and that's multiple organs. He's done. Like Luffy, I don't see how anyone would survive this. Like again, it's a funny pirate manga and everything, but like I don't know. The one says, "Haven't seen my boy get done this bad since Alabasta." Lawlead says the last time Luffy died, he unlocked the funny god form, and that is true. The last time that he died, this happened. I'm sorry, Chopper. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but like, just that's not gonna take. Lawlead, the last time that he died, quote unquote, but he died from like a punch. He died from shock. He died from like a beat. This isn't a clot. This isn't like internal bleeding. I feel like internal bleeding would be better. This is internal bleeding and fully ruptured organs. Um, Anatapashi goes, Luffy. Luffy says, I'm Luffy. I'm not Joy Boy. How many times do I gotta say it? True. Uh, D-Hawk goes, if someone had told us years ago that Luffy would become that genie, we wouldn't have believed it. Even if it didn't help him much, I'm still waiting to truly understand Nika's powers. I am very glad that we did get to see Luffy finally, because this has been since Egghead. I mean, I know it's been one arc, but like, I feel like we've been waiting for Luffy to finally go, oh, this isn't. I mean, even and that was fine. Like, even if he continues to say and believe that these are Gum Gum powers, if he actually starts using his imagination to the fullest, I mean, the only way that I can see him getting back up this arc, and I really hope it's not the case, because we need them to lose. We need them to lose. Otherwise, there's just no stakes to the story. It's been 20. When was the last time that they lost? Like pre-time skip? They're crazy. Um, but I'm glad that he's actually getting these power ups. Just realizing that he has imagination, and I just think legitimately he shouldn't fully realize it yet. It should definitely be later, and I hope he doesn't just get up like, oh, I use the power of my imagination to fully heal myself again and get back up. Dude, that would ruin the story. That would ruin the story because that's not overpowered shit. That's bullshit. That's what that is, and that makes no sense and removes any sense of stakes later in the story. Uh like if the only way you can like go head to head with the strongest of the strongest is by pulling out bullshit that brings you back from the dead. No, no, Oda better not. He better not back down from this. He has a thing where like he does something, he said something, and it's like, oh, this is cool. I can't believe he's doing this, and then he takes it back. Like for example, when Kinemon died, right? Yeah, only way I can see them beating Emu is if one of the emperors shows up. Emu is terrified of Buggy. I know you're saying this as a joke, but like, I can definitely see Shanks coming in and finishing this fight. I still hope that Shanks doesn't win, but that it ends with them leaving. And then Luffy recovers, and then they get to share a bottle of sake and everything, and he tries to give the hat back. He says no again, and then that's the last time that Luffy and Shanks see each other. That would be really cool. Anyways, Swan goes. I think that's number 6. Yeah, Swan 2 goes. Reminds me of when the panel of Crocodile all the way back in Alabasta. We talked about this already. Juju's guy friend goes. Can Luffy grant wishes now, or just do Robin Williams impressions? I think he could potentially grant wishes because of the whole imagination powers, but I don't think he knows that. So for now, he just acts like a genie without knowing that he can act like a genie. So he's just going to be doing Robin Williams impressions for now. Okay, D-Hawk again goes, Imu shows brutal haki, second only to Joy Boy, but doesn't realize Gunko is still trapped in the ice. Immense power, limited vision. Oda is cold. I mean, Oda is cold. I just don't think Imu shows any haki at all. This is all Omen. Darkness of Shadows, the man that I always look forward to reading his comments. He goes, Imu really said to Luffy, "You are not him." True. Man, that's crazy. And to see now there's a massive upscale from Luffy to Joy Boy, and then from Joy Boy to Nika. That's gonna be crazy. That means in the entirety of the story, Luffy is probably not even top 20 most powerful characters in the whole of like One Piece reality. Imagine if Shanks offers himself to Imu to save Luffy and become Dummy Reversey, and so in the end, Luffy and Shanks have to fight. I mean, I don't think so, because one thing that I think happened either last chapter or 2 chapters ago is that Loki, when fighting Loki, Imu says, I think this was 2 chapters ago. Imu says, like the whole thing of kidnapping children, that's the way that he turns people into slaves. I think that's a true power of Dummy Reversey. I think that's the reality behind Dummy Reversey. And I will talk about this in a second. The final 2, I'm gonna read the final 2. I'm gonna read 3 more. Is that a sword? Yes. Taro S goes, hey, isn't this the first panel of the chapter? Something like Roger and Rayleigh's meet? Like how Joy Boy came up to Imu and said, who are you and all that? I don't think so. Reading menacingly, Luffy will bring back his ultimate form, Water Balloon Luffy. I am sure you guys remember what happened to Crocodile. I don't think that's gonna happen. But anyways. Let me see. Was that last chapter or was the chapter 1186? I'm gonna open 1186 for a second. Because it might just be 1186. Where Imu says, let me see. Yeah, 1186. He goes, 800 years ago, thy kind suffered defeat in order to save thy children. The nature of a race does not change in mere centuries. Simply I abduct thy children, and I can control thee at will. Thou might not know what is happening to thee, but history repeats regardless. It is already too late. Thou art my slaves. And I really think Water Luffy, this is in 1186. I think Water Luffy's strongest form, true. I think what Imu just said is the true reality of what Dummy Reversey is. Because in Dummy Reversey, right, there's something that happens where, like, we thought, we still, like, Oda continues to make sure that the audience forgets about Dummy Reversey. And I don't think it's just, I didn't like this and I would hope that people forget about this. I just really think that this is about like setting up the truth of it and then hitting us with a moment of, oh shit. I think that the reason why it looks like, it's for people from the hometown is because in their hometowns is usually where their familial bonds are. I really think that familiar bonds and threatening familiar bonds, specifically people that you care about, that aren't considered family, are the way to make, someone Dummy Reversey. This is what happened to Rocks. This is what happened to the Giants, right? So, it might just be the reason that it didn't work on Luffy or Loki is because one, Loki didn't care about anyone, or at least didn't know that anyone that he cared about was being threatened. I think currently the children are the closest thing, or even maybe Hayden is the closest, and we could see Loki be done in reverse seed because of that. Because those are being, I mean, they're out. They're probably like out now. So that's the thing that's being threatened. And then Luffy has his crew, but he doesn't see his crew as being endangered. So I think that's why he couldn't turn Luffy. I was thinking, oh, maybe it's a thing with the, with the Soen fruits. It might have just overcomplicated it. I think it could just be this. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to think. But yeah, I don't see Luffy getting out of this, and I can't believe no one in the comments was talking about that. Luffy, I don't know. I don't know. But Deadman, thank you so much. I have no more thoughts. I should go eat something. Thank you so much for being here, by the way. Oh man, I'm tired. I've been doing continuous streams like every day. Oh. Anyway, Deadman, thank you so much for being here. To anyone else that came through the stream, Kello and Wheatley, thank you so much. I hope that you are all caught up, so that we can start reading these as a community rather than as, like, just us two. Have a nice week. Enjoy your food. Same to you, J-Man. J-Man, what? J-Man is a completely different person. Deadman. And I will see all of you in 2 weeks for One Piece and more Deltarune and more other things. And on the flip side, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.